Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships. We're continuing on with our new player guide series, and unfortunately I still have a cold that's being rather a pain to get rid of, so I might sound a little out of it, so one day soon this cold will be done. So in today's battle, if you're newer here, we do this new player guide series on the EU server, and we are low tier in random battles still at this point on the map Big Race, and still full of bots. So I think I'm hoping once I hit tier 5, which I just got the tier 5 US destroyer, the Nicholas, we'll start seeing more human players. But for now, you get me and one other human teammate, and then two human enemy team players. So basically, one thing I wanted to talk about was low tier playing Battleship in World of Warships. We've talked a little bit about it so far, but there's also a little more I want to talk about. Just probably more a little bit on the bot behavior side, because we are going to have a good battle. Because bots are kind of mindless to a certain extent. One of the challenges I find that I have to remember. Often I like to set myself up in a position to move to a flank when there's a lot of bots, because they mostly just kind of sail straight through the center, and you can get some good side shots on them, like this good side shot I have here, and I'm switching to AP now. But if your cap, like when your standard battle, is left wide open, then it's easy for an enemy bot to come in and cap your base. And because you're a big, slow battleship at low tier, and your speed is so slow, the base gets capped even though your bot team may be winning. So I had a battle, I think this is the battle before this one. I lost Random's match just because I was too far away, and the bot destroyer that was capping our base was behind an island and just had it in parks. So my format has been, when playing random battles with lots of bots, is to stay more in the cap zone now. Just because of reasons. Because it's frustrating when you're so slow and you can't get back to the base in time when you're in a big, slow battleship. And a bot caps you and makes you lose the random match. So, exciting. So, we're set up... Ooh, got Citadel though. We're set up at this position here. Our rear turrets have a bit harder time getting all guns on target. I mean, you can see the front second turret doesn't have a good turning radius at all. And I'm sitting here looking for a broadside cruiser, possibly. And then I should notice here that there is going to be a bot right there. It's the tier 4 Dutch cruiser. And they have so much, I think what they call it, freeboard. If you see how tall the sides of his hull are. So I'm feeling pretty good about this shot.
We destroyed an enemy cruiser.
Maybe just a bot, but it's still satisfying to get a devastating strike. The enemy CV is focusing us. He seems to know somewhat what he's doing, because if I was an enemy CV, I would be focusing on the human players, not the bot players. So our AA is actually pretty crap. It's like, I think, is it just over 3.5 kilometer AA? So I am trying to prioritize A whenever possible. We popped that DCP, damage control party, when he set us on fire, and it was long enough it lasted through his second strike, so that was a close call. Usually you wait for the CV to finish their strikes before popping a DCP if you are on fire. Or flooding, because I'm not worried about being set on fire by enemy ships at this point. So we have a pretty good ship lead still right now, and you can see I've been reversing more into the cap. There's a good portion of bots still over on the 3-4 line. We have this enemy bot battleship. It's the Orion bot battleship here. So see if we can get a good salvo lined up on him. One thing with bots, like, because I don't take priority target on a battleship, or this battleship in particular at least, and I take it on very few. I'm always looking for the guns, where the guns on a bot are aiming, and even human players, so I know whether or not to expect that he may be taking, aiming his guns at me to fire. So I just always kind of zoom in, see where they're aiming. It just helps me to try to maintain my health pool, because we are going to need to maintain it as much as the human CV player is focusing us. So we're going to reverse a bit more, because now in reversing this direction, I've been trying to prep for this possible bot push down the 3-4 line area. So these guns, they're pretty decent. I mean, sometimes they feel rather trollish. You'll see that an example later when I fire at the enemy CV. And other times they feel like they're decently accurate. I think I'm mostly impressed with them for this tier. Since you get so many of these guns, I mean, you look, it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 guns. So in tier 4, cruisers are really easy to citadel, especially tier 5 as well, from almost any angle if you have battleship guns. So trying to see if we can't get rid of this Phoenix here. So I'm still kind of looking around on the mini-map. If you look on the mini-map, you can see that there's a bot coming down the 9 line. So I'm going to have to pay attention to that, because I don't want him to sail around the corner of an island and just fill me with torpedoes. So I'm keeping an eye on what else is happening as I try to finish off this Phoenix. So it's good not to just get focused on one target on the map. You always want to be looking around. You can see I'm pressing right click on my mouse, free look, so my guns stay focused on this direction. So I'm looking to see what's happening in the center of the map. And I'm hoping this salvo will be the last salvo that I need to take care of this Phoenix. As the CV player is back. Yep, Citadel when he's on that low of health. One thing is, it is hard to avoid torpedo strikes at the low tier, because you're so slow, your rudder shift's so slow. So I'll go ahead and actually DCP, because I'm going to need to have my rudder in dealing with this bot here that's pushing in. And you can see I already have HE loading. So I'm making those pre-decisions of what is the next play I'm going to make. I finished off the Phoenix, and now I'm going to have to deal with a destroyer, so it's best to have HE loaded. And less than 5 kilometers away, 10 of the guns miss. So that's what I could see when it's a bit trollish sometimes. So let's see what 2 shots do. Also miss. So now our bots are steadily dying in the center. So keeping that in mind, I'm turning out here just in case he's dumped torpedoes in my general direction. They should be short-ranged. They're pretty short-ranged at tier 4 for the most part. And dispersion trolls us there again. So a little frustrated, so I'm just letting my CV player know in chat that having a hard time landing shells on him. And I'm letting the fire burn because I still have the 4 heals, so we actually haven't used the heal at all yet. And you can see with one of the mods I have, it shows me how much damage I can heal back. So seeing that's getting close to my full health value, how much that can be healed back, including the India Delta flag. Oh, yeah. And then we get a good salvo in there, 4 hits, even though he's much farther away now. I'm always keeping an eye on that. So, and once I get the full value, then I'll go ahead and pop the heal. It's generally how I always play it, unless I feel like I'm about to go on the battle with a bunch of human players and I want to get the most out of the heal. So in the midst of a heavy brawling fight, my next heal can be popped up in time. So when we get later on in the series, dealing more with human players, you'll see me talk and discuss that more. Now, one of the things that bots do, especially the destroyers, when they get so low HP, and just like that bot did, they pop a smoke screen. So basically now I'm not going to be able to fire on him for a bit because he's just going to be in that smoke screen. The enemy CV player is coming back again. So with torpedo planes, what you want to do is you want to turn into them. Now with the Hermes, it's British CV, it's basically just dropping 1 torp at a time. But you want to present more of a smaller target, making it harder for them to hit you. So there, we're just able to sidestep that. And so now we are outnumbered. All the destroyers bots are still alive. So there's this V170 here in the center. Then we got this other bot. He's low health. And now on the mini map, I just noticed that the other bot just came back out of the smoke screen. So we need to turn and kill him. I'm hoping this will do it. Yeah. So then I'm going to straighten back out in case he did dump any torpedoes. I also want to get my guns on this other bot destroyer in the distance who's really low. I don't mind taking... Sometimes you have to choose where you want to take the damage. So here, a CV torpedo is not going to damage me as much as possible full torpedo set from a bot destroyer. So sometimes you'll have to make decisions of like, do I eat this CV strike, or do I go for or eat the DD strike? You generally just want to eat the torpedo strike from a CV, or if he's got skip bombs, dive bombers, then taking a bunch of torpedoes from a destroyer, but the destroyer bot didn't get any torpedoes off. There'll also be times when we get up more. Hopefully we'll start seeing more of this tier 5, tier 6. When you sometimes, like I talk about how if there's a bot CV coming in to give you a strike, or enemy CV wanting to strike you, like torpedoes, you want to turn into them. If that's a dive bomber, dive bombers you want to turn like horizontal to, like how I'd be to these rocket planes right now. Rocket planes you want to turn into. But one of those things you got to notice when you get later on is, like, let's say there's a enemy airstrike of dive bombers coming in, and you turn horizontal, and then all of a sudden you look in the back of the map, and there's 3 human player battleships targeting you, and you're showing them full broadside. So sometimes you have to be aware of those type of things, of kind of like counting, like, oh, is this going to be a bad thing? Or is it okay for me to turn out and show this much broadside? Is the enemy team distracted enough that it's okay? So here the bot actually got some torpedoes off, rather decent. And so we eat one, and now I'm turning back to deal with this bot in the cap. I'm not sure if our remaining cruiser, the Phoenix bot, is going to be able to deal with it effectively or not. So we're just going to go back and help him out. We've got the HE loaded still, since we've basically been dealing with destroyers. And we'll continue to get harassed from the enemy CV. But we'll get to him later. We'll get to him later, don't you worry. So it's prioritizing the objective, so the cap is important to prioritize. I'm looking on the mini-map now. I'm wondering if he's still in the position. So if you look on the mini-map, you can see I'm using my targeting icon to see if he's still there. Because I don't have a shot on the bot destroyer right now. So I'll go ahead and let one rip. And nothing. So I'm pretty sure he's moved by now. And our rudder shift gets taken out again. So I'm not popping DCP yet because he's not done dive or dropping torpedoes yet. So we're going to eat another torpedo. And I'm pretty much staying almost in a straight line. So, and I'm going to have eyes on the bot destroyer soon anyhow. So, and you can see it's almost done repairing. So we're not even worried about using a DCP at this point. So there we nag the Confederate. We got that devastating strike earlier on that tier 4 Dutch cruiser. And we'll keep all of our guns on target. Now this salvo, you're going to see a good example of a very tight dispersion from the Wyoming. Like, just watch how many just like line up in the center. Blap. So that's going to be the High Caliber and the Kraken Unleashed, and a salty CV player who we'll soon see in chat. So, yeah. So we're just gonna tell him wow. Just kind of, I'm laughing, so not angry or anything like that. So if he wants to be salty in chat, we can have fun with him. So we're going to move back in a general direction. So I have HE loaded. I'm going to need to switch that to armor piercing. The CV, the planes still look like they're coming maybe from the B5, B6 area. So I'm wondering if he's still up in that area. So I have all my guns positioned to the starboard side here. It's the right side. Left is port. And I'm going to ask my CV player to spot him, which I'm pretty sure he's already looking to go spot him right now. Again, turning in. I cut the brakes. A really good tactic of avoiding torpedoes is turn and then, I say brakes, cut the throttle fully. And that will help pull your ship in more to avoid torpedoes, but I didn't feel like I was going to avoid that one. And again, being tier 4, it takes so much time to gain speed, and I want to get across the map because he's still doing damage to us. So I am not too worried about that right now. So if you look on the mini map, you can see dive bombers coming from, looks like the B1, B2 area. So I'll go ahead and ping the map over in that sector because our human CV player was flying up towards where the enemy CV player was last spotted, but he's not there anymore. So I'm going to need to get the gun switched around the other side, which you can see is already in progress. And now our CV has detected him on the map, but I'm letting him know in chat that he's too far away from me to shoot because he's saying concentrate fire on that CV, but he's too far away. We have expert loader, so I go ahead and switch to armor piercing now, getting ready for when we do see him. Our spotter plane is going to be up in 25 seconds. It extends our range by 20%, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to soon get a salvo off on him. And you're going to see an example of most of the guns missing, and then one gun being rather accurate. So I'm still not worried about popping the heal yet. We're just going to wait, see what he does here on this strike. And our party sector is about to come off cooldown, so we're going to pop that again. So he's got 2 planes coming in. So he set 2 fires. We don't have fire prevention because we're still low point captain. So I instantly pop the DCP. Get rid of those fires because we don't need 2 burning right now. So actually he's getting a little bit closer to us now. So I now know I can pop spotter plane and I'll have him in range. So you're going to see this whole salvo completely miss. That salvo is going to hit. That salvo is going to miss. So all around. And pop. Black ribbon. And that salvo is just barely too short, where that gun, those 2 AP shells just landed a little too short. So we got the AA sector prioritized again. I'm just going to keep sailing straight. I'm not going to mess with the throttle. I want to get close to him as soon as possible and finish him off. Probably getting ready. We're going to be popping a heal here in a moment. So yeah, we're going to pop it now. Feel really good about that salvo. Ooh, 2 more black ribbons. And sadly, not enough to just completely wipe his health out. So we're going to write ouch in chat. Because he asked why we were running earlier. I don't know what that was about because we weren't running. But so I'm letting him know the next salvo's for him, naturally. But our bot CV is going to get the kill. So let's go ahead and look at post-battle results. So we got 255,000 credits, 10,482 experience, 3,413 free XP, along with a devastating strike. Let's see, that's Confederate, Dreadnought, Kraken Unleashed, High Caliber, with 109,000 damage, 5 killed, 7 citadels. So pretty good. I had some XP modifiers, signals mounted. Top of the team with 1,411 base XP, which is really good for low tier, especially tier 4. But again, mostly bots, sadly, not many human players. Since we're still in protected matchmaking, is not going to be more than a 2-tier spread apart. So tier 4, yeah. You can see the damage layout there. We did almost got the CV, almost. Not quite enough. You can see the damage we received was 55,624 and over 300,000 potential damage. And here's credits XP, so you can see the XP modifiers and the Commander XP there as well. So, and I had premium count. I think I got a 24 hours of it or something like that. So I was trying to play multiple battles while I had it just to help get some more credits and experience. So I get more up into that tier 5 and higher, and hopefully we'll be playing more against human players soon. But if you're seeing a lot of bots like I've been at the low tier, know that's normal right now apparently. I think the most I've had tier 4 and lower has been 4 human players max on each team, so 8 in total. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more. If you're subscribed, thanks so much. It'll be a while before we get to the next access level, but I'll keep showing you different battles. I got probably another fun Clemson one, and then you'll start seeing some Nicholas at tier 5. So hopefully we'll be getting into some more of the higher tier 5. It's mid tier, but just getting another tier up higher. So we're playing against more human players and with more human players. So you get to experience more what does that look like as a new player in World of Warships. So until next time, take care.